Cool. All right, Alex. So yeah, I wanted to do this. We're getting some requests on how we find different properties or more so like the markets, picking a market. So I figured let's get together and just do an impromptu market search. And
Yeah.
So I remember, and FYI, for everyone watching, not staged. We have no pre-gen windows up, so we are literally just going to do it live as we would. So don't look too hard at our search history when it pops up. So yeah, big thing here. So I have some stuff pulled up, but I wanted to go over first when we are thinking about a market. And we have it in a module in the course of where to plant your flag, and I will it is important that I highlight that because one of the reasons how we start doing what we're doing. And that's not my screen. There you go. It is super raw. So here we go. Yep. So this is inside the mastermind, but a little for anyone that's not a mastermind, a little sneak peek at some of the stuff you got in there. Uh, when we go over here, where to plant your flag, these are the things that we tell people to look at, right? So your local knowledge, your basically hands-on setup. So are you close to the property, like your proximal access to these places? Can you quickly respond to guests if you live nearby? Do you have a network in the area? And you have like unique market insights about this a specific area. And when people first start, we try to push them to finding a place that's like within an hour and a half of where they live, just because it allows them to check all those boxes easily. But as we know, sometimes people don't live in an area where they're close to a good Airbnb market, and when starting close to home is not an option. So at that point, we look at who do we know, our network, like nationwide. Do we have any family members, really close friends, or just intimate knowledge of a specific area? And surely there's got to be some place where you're like, oh, and if you don't have any of those things, and you're like, I have no friends, I have no family, I have no interests in any location. I guess the next thing would be like look for regions with consistent tourism, and then colleges, business travel, all that stuff, places where people are going for Airbnb. So that's just kind of how I want to frame it. And in this scenario, luckily for us, we have some rough guidance. We're going to operate under the auspice that we are looking because we have a friend who's in and around the city of Atlanta. We don't have any properties in Atlanta, haven't done research into Atlanta. So as we're going through this, if you're like, I would never go in that area, this market is way better. Cool. Like, let us know about that market, but we're just going to show you how we'd go and do it. Sound good?
Yeah, exactly. So what we're about to do, this could be applied to anywhere. I've flown through Atlanta, but I've never been to Atlanta. We've certainly have no connection to the city of Atlanta or greater metropolitan area with the lens of short-term rentals. So this is just like, hey, someone reached out and had some interest. You know what? Let's put together a video. Let's show exactly what we would do when looking at a new market and looking at regulations. All right. So like I was saying, so this is going to be a video like looking at a location we've never been to, we have no connection to with short-term rentals. So this is exactly how we would do it when we were looking at a new market, looking at regulations, looking at tourism, looking at comps in the area, all that kind of stuff.
So the
Uh,
the only thing we're like, hey, we have a buddy who lives in downtown Atlanta, and probably, and if I were you and I had this buddy, I would call that buddy and ask him for some insights on places that he thinks. But let's just say, hey, he doesn't actually know anything about the area; he just lives there. Okay, cool. So I think the first step that we would do would be pull up the old Google machine and start figuring out where's the hotness in Atlanta for tourism. Like, where are the most popular spots in and or around Atlanta. And our goal is to find 3 to 5 submarkets of like different little submarkets within Atlanta or very close nearby, close drive. You want to pull up Google or I can pull up Google? It doesn't matter for this
yeah, yeah, I've
example.
got it. You want to look at just Google Maps for now?
I would say just pull up Google and look up like, hey, where are the most popular tourism spots near Atlanta
Hmm.
or tourism towns or stuff or whatever. It's good now. It's good enough. All right.
Okay.
Could have been
All right.
me.
So, okay, Georgia Aquarium, popular spots, World of Coca-Cola, Botanical Gardens, Martin Luther King, Historical Park. Okay.
I would think, and so for this first part, like this is getting into like, I'm thinking more like, yeah, Midtown versus like the places in Atlanta where they have like the tree houses and the outskirts, like where like that's what I'm more thinking of, like how to find those places. So
Yeah, and actually, this is one thing. This is just it could be an afternoon or something, but Atlanta Airport is a major hub for Delta, so major international airport. So Delta has their own museum there, so that's a cool thing. But let's see if we go in a little bit more, looking at Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
yeah, so
Okay,
like I think obviously
Coca-Cola.
like one of the sub markets is gonna be like downtown, obviously. And
Yeah,
FYI, like in the background while Alex is looking this up, I'm just pulling up Airbnb and looking to see like a sanity check of are there Airbnbs in this area? And we'll go into like the exact things that I look for, but like if he tells me a region, I'm just looking to see like are there Airbnbs in the general area. I can tell you right now, there are Airbnbs in Atlanta.
Stone Mountain Park, popular the most visited tourist attraction in Atlanta, Stone Mountain Park. Okay, so now let's take a quick look over here. Stone Mountain Park. Stone Mountain. Okay, where is that in relation to the rest of the city? Okay, so I mean, I would say that's outside of the city. So Stone Mountain Park is to the east of Atlanta. Here's another, just obvious sign. So around any major city, you've got, the Interstate 285, big circle around Atlanta. So it's even outside of that a little bit. So from the downtown, again, certainly, somewhere to spend the day. But if you look at, let's see if we,
So I did like a quick Google search and it said neighborhoods in and around Atlanta are promising for Airbnb. They recommend Inman Park, downtown Atlanta, which we guessed obviously, and then Cabbagetown, due to their location and then Summer Hill. So they gave me five locations. Inman Park, downtown. Okay, perfect. You want to explain what you just did so we can go back? So
yeah.
Alex is
So
doing the first part of comprehensive competitor analysis, which we have in our mentorship a full guide on how to do that in the comprehensive competitor analysis module. But basically, so if you go back to Airbnb,
Yeah, so the reason I went to Airbnb is like, okay, how's my mind working right now? So number one tourist attraction, according to this guy right down here, Stone Mountain Park, and then we went to Google Maps. Where is Stone Mountain Park? Well, it's to the east of Atlanta. Then my mind, okay, well, what other? If let's say it's clearly the number one tourist attraction, so then we say, okay, what other current Airbnbs are near Stone Mountain Park, which is whatever distance from the downtown Atlanta. So then in Airbnb, and this is in the traveling mode. So whether you have you don't even need an Airbnb profile at all. Airbnb.com, and then just go in here. I just typed in Atlanta, Georgia. When this is the key, you want to hit flexible. So that way it's going to show you the most amount of properties, the widest range of available properties. So you do flexible, stay for a week, and then just select every month. You just do it for like a year. So I went all the way up to June 2026. The number of guests, generally 4 is fine. Gives you a nice range because
but yeah,
even properties that have like that can sleep 2, like I'm sorry,
we're like
even properties that stay 4, you could stay there with 2 people, right?
yeah,
So
and we're operating for this like we're searching for a property that's like floating around the $2,000 range, so we know it's going to be like 2 to 4 people, most
yeah,
likely, maybe six, but whatever
yeah.
captures it.
So this is having trouble loading right here with the map for some reason, but
So
but
while
even like just with the titles of these downtown Atlanta, Midtown, you just mentioned something a minute ago about Cabbage Town or something. That looks like
yeah,
that's what that is.
yeah,
Downtown, Midtown. So again, even though so this is one, we kind of need the map though to and for some reason maybe you can share your screen because this one's not working.
yeah. No worries.
Um,
I'll go share.
but
I'll share. Yeah.
how my mind was working, how we wanted to do this is show the map to see, okay, near the location of Stone Mountain Park or some tourist hotspot, what Airbnbs are in that area. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a sec so you can try that on your end.
All good. Okay. Yeah. So I
Of
gotta.
of course, all I needed to do is refresh my screen and it popped
Yeah.
up.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
No worries. So basically, a couple of things. Airbnb obviously has stuff. So where are some of the? We'll look
So
at
that
Stone.
one, yeah, so if you zoom out a little bit more, let's see if we can see the that Interstate 285, which is looks there it is, Stone Mountain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So
So
So here's the thing. When we look, right, a couple of like instant like wickets that we like to check. Does it have 100 or more Airbnbs? That just shows us that the Airbnb ecosystem is alive and well there. Okay, it does. The next
for the city as a whole.
for the yeah, and I would say like for the sub market, right? Like we know
Yeah.
Atlanta has a ton.
Yeah.
Um, and Atlanta might even be broaching on like one of those cities where it's like pretty saturated. So you have to like watch out because it's gonna be hard to edge in. Cause like when you think like Miami, it's like really hard to break into that market because everyone there is like such a professional. There's a lot of professional hosts. Now we
Yeah.
look at it, does it have over 100? Okay, there's a good Airbnb ecosystem there. Your business could thrive. Then we look and see like are properties getting booked? Well, we got 100 reviews, which means probably about 200 or more stays. Another one 170, 40, 50, 100. So, okay, we know people are getting booked out. That's good. And then the next one is like, are these all professional hosts or are there things that we can improve? And some of these look really good. Some of these places are really good. And
Mhm.
they've got some cool stuff, but I'm not seeing like every single listing is a professional. The photography is on point. The titles are good. Like even this, like no hate on Stone Mountain Oasis. It looks like it's a good listing, 4.900 reviews. Like that's really good. But like the title, like, you know, it's lacking. You could put the amenities that it has because like I bet you if we clicked into that, it's going to have some cool amenities that we could like highlight, or maybe it's proximal access to Stone Mountain is the only amenity. But
Actually, go back real quick. This is just a side note. They kind of caught my attention. Click on that any of the pictures really, because it'll open up. All right, now click on. All right,
yeah, so no
find some descriptions. I wasn't even looking at that right away. Find some TV pictures. Click on bedroom number one.
the fact that okay, here's a good one, right? Like this is a TV, like this is their hero
There's
photo, and
yeah,
there's
like
nothing on the TV, which is a
pic-
small detail, but
yeah, small detail. Anyway, it just caught my eye.
no,
So
yeah, yeah,
that's just one. That's these are all now like for this particular listing. Looks great, but certainly could tweak it a little bit. The title, pictures, and a
and
few
that's
things.
that all basically not a bad thing. All that means
Yeah,
is if you came in and were like close enough to what these units are doing and made a few tweaks here and there, maybe a little spice to your design, could you make more money? So,
that's
you-
that's
and that
that's the key, right? Yeah,
so that can you come in and can you do more? And we like break this down fully into comprehensive competitor analysis portion of our coaching, but this is just a rough like idea. Hey, this is a quick swag. Let me look at that. Quick swag. 250. Okay. This market here, it has some promise. So that I would mark down the Stone Mountain Park as like a sub market that we're interested in.
and then in one quick little thing while you're doing that, I'm just gonna look up just distance from like let's say Midtown Atlanta to there. So that way, because you always want to do that, like, okay, yes, identify these submarkets, identify like what's the main draw, right? And each submarket has its own draw, but are people also going to that are interested in staying near Stone Mountain? If they're there for, let's say, 4 or 5 days, are they also going to downtown Atlanta? Probably, yeah. So are they flying in? Maybe, maybe not. But you need how far is it from the airport, which is clearly south of the city? So, all things to look at as well. I'm just going to take a quick look.
Where is and then or while you're looking that, I'm looking up some of the other like and this is the flow, right? Like we do a lot of Google research and we find where are people going, where is the tourism, um, where is the tourism driving us? And that's where we make our decisions from. Looks like Inman Park is it's like a little subset, like right to the west or
Mhm.
east of downtown Atlanta. So
And I thought I just saw that on the map somewhere.
probably did. It's like really close to downtown. Um,
Oh, Inman?
Inman, yeah, Inman right here.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, ready? Yep, Inman's probably gonna work. It has like hundreds of
Yeah, Yeah.
like,
So
and here's like a thing, right? Look at
yeah.
all
Oh, right there. Yeah, that
the
little zone right there where your cursor was.
yeah,
Look at that. Birth home of Martin Luther King Jr., historical park. Look at the color of the map, the green. There's some right next to the listing that's 4064. That whole area is right there.
yeah.
There's in multiple directions. You've got green spaces, so there's walking trails, probably, different things like that. So,
Yeah,
um,
this is a cool little spot for sure. And there's, Atlanta definitely has a lot of Airbnbs, so you're gonna want to find a place that has some cool amenities like a jacuzzi, pool, maybe even some other stuff too, to like stand out in this area. Because I'm looking at like there's just a ton of cool like little spots here, and I always get
yeah,
excited to do these because it's like, oh, that's cool, I could do. But also, it's like, and here's just a picture of a house, like here's a picture of an apartment, and it's like, that's new. So that person's starting up, like, here's this place. It is has over 220 reviews, 4.96 stars, and it's literally like, this is nothing crazy. Like a person could do this
yeah,
and they're making money. So like you can come in and do something a little better and make a little more money. Um, yeah, I was looking at other because I was
yeah.
looking at these places.
So you know what I keep seeing in just that, if you go back to that search real quick on Airbnb, one thing I just kept seeing multiple times, like Fourth Ward, everything is Fourth Ward, at least in the titles, Treehouse and Old Fort, that
Yeah.
neighborhood. So maybe that's
Right, yeah, so that's another thing too, like, we use people immediately jump to AirDNA. Listen, Airbnb is showing you real time what is pushing the guests. So it's like, Airbnb is showing us that it's pushing, this is what, like, there's cool tree houses, like, the first in the first 6, 4 of the top 6 listings are tree houses, so just think about that. Um, and like a lot of cool tiny homes. So I think the key in this market, what I'm seeing is like you're gonna have to have something unique. You're gonna have to create a unique stay to stand out to make like to be a top earner. Um, and and now let's play with Inman Park because I feel like
yeah,
there's a lot here. So we have, of the markets that we have, right? Like, let's just say we have the 3 to 5 markets, and we use Inman Park, downtown, Cabbagetown, and Summer Hill, and then the Stone Mountain. Those are our markets. Okay, cool. Now we're gonna go into each market and do this process that we're about to do. So we'll take Inman Park, and in any submarket, within the submarket, there is the high ground, if you will, or whatever the best place, the best location within the submarket. And now we're gonna have to go and try and find what that is for Inman Park. But like a good example is in one of our markets we're in Old Town Alexandria, King Street is the high ground. The closer you are to King Street, the better the unit performs. The closer you are to the restaurants, all the amenities, the metro, the public transport, and then there's the water as well. So like anytime there's a lake or an ocean or a river, the proximal access and location to the water is the high ground. In cities and other areas, you have to find what those are. In like a mountain town, it very well could be proximity to the slopes. And for us, we have to find where is the high ground in Inman Park in Atlanta. So Alex, I don't. While I am doing that, do you want to look up regulate like
that
STR regulations?
yeah, I was beginning to look at that and actually kind of got sidetracked on just like a kind of general tourism, website, discoveratlanta.com. So on there, just by searching Inman Park, Atlanta, Georgia. And so before I get into regulation, kind of research, so one thing I found, characterized by Victorian homes and tree-lined streets. There's a huge, Inman Park specifically has a huge annual festival. Um, I'm sure it's on, whatever that downtown, there you go, Krog Street. Maybe Krog Street is their main avenue.
I mean, yeah,
That's cool. Oh,
it looks.
that's like a massive food court. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's like
Um,
that place in Nashville that has, like, all the yeah. But, I mean, like,
yeah,
okay, ready for this? Like, okay, there's a ton of restaurants here. This is more restaurants, more, like, looks like cool little things here. I mean, obviously, all these restaurants give it away, right? And then here's a hack: wherever hotels decide to plant their flag, probably means that they did some research as well and, and found place that works. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
huge shopping plaza there, so Krog Street might be the place that we want to get to. Let me do a little bit more digging. And like this is like we're doing this because we're doing a quick little video, but like you want to spend more than 2 minutes looking, right? Like because there's all these things, right? Like little 5 points, like and we go through and we do more than just Google. You also will go and look and find the tourism index and tourism reports for these markets. And you go through and look where are people going, how much money they're spending, what are they doing when they go there, what are the activities that are drawing people there, and they'll tell you that's where you want to get places close to. But
So
obviously,
yeah, so it looks like yeah, I'm doing kind of my own Googling. It looks like yeah, Krog Street is definitely the most prominent street in Inman Park. Krog Street Market is a huge deal. And there's also what is this? The Atlanta Beltline East Side Trail, popular walking and biking path, runs along Krog Street, increasing so walking, biking,
I mean, you can tell it is designed.
Desayuno. Sorry, English. So yeah, looks like a cool spot. Krog Street.
And I'm seeing like restaurants. Every time I click, I'm seeing restaurants, and it looks like it has pretty decent walkability. There's nothing like crazy. Oh yeah, like brewed. Like there's just things
Oh my
going
god.
on.
Oh wait, is that the market to your right there? I think it is. See if you can look at all those gas lines. That's
Yes,
what caught my attention. Is that's so
Brewdog.
yeah, yeah, brew. So that yeah, that could be oh there you go, the Krog district. Yeah, I mean that looks like a super cool place. And
Yeah,
then what is that? Are these like apartment buildings and things?
could be. It could be prime buildings. It could be.
Condos or something?
Hey, guess what?
There you go.
Looking to enhance. Talk about enhance. Boom. Let's
All
see
right.
who's.
While you're doing your okay, free shout out,
Yeah, right.
I'm
I'm
gonna look at some regulations over here.
So to give while you're looking them up, to give context to what we're doing, we're spending some time, and this, you do. I say this to everyone we work with when you're getting your first property, there are the two most important decisions you're going to make. One is obvious, the property obviously is important to where you're going to do it. The second one is the market. And honestly, probably more important because if you have a really good property in a horrible market, you wasted time. If you have a really good market and a bad property, you at least have a chance. So find a good market. And then when you're there, you find that high ground and you get as close to that as possible. So I pull up Airbnb now and I'm looking, and this Airbnb is not going to show because there's so many, but I'm looking, okay, where are there a lot of Airbnbs? And just in that area, Alex, that we were looking, like by Croc Street, there are 100 Airbnbs
Yeah.
in that area.
Oh, there Brewdog. Didn't we just see that on the
Yeah,
map?
Blue
Yeah.
Dog. So
So
it's like,
that's that street right there.
I mean,
There's Krog Street right to the right. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So there's places right here. Um,
Oh,
so
Krog Street Tunnel.
there's a
That's
ton of, yeah. There's
this is one of those like just from looking at it, like depending on what you want to do on your vacation, what's bringing you to any market or submarket, like just on where you have your map right now, you could spend several days right there. I mean, just like a really cool place to be. So,
yeah.
um,
That's when you're looking at a market, like, there's no, like, I can't give you the magic wand and say, "This is it. You're gonna kill it right here no matter what." It's like the simple truth is you probably can be successful in a lot of markets. We're just trying to stack the deck in our favor. And when I look at this area and I say, "Hey, Inman Park, one of the areas," and then I back that up with like tourism index, and then I'd go even more crazy because it's an investment that you're doing when you get a property. I'd call someone that lives near there. I'd pick up the phone and just talk to someone and be like, call a local business and be like, hey, whatever, whatever, and just get the down and dirty about the area. Hey, is this like, where's the cool place to hang out? Where do people go? All this stuff. I mean, restaurants and bars in such close proximity tells me that there's something going on here. So we're going to roll with it as one of our sub markets, but I would back that up by calling people. Yeah. So we do that. We have this. We assess the high ground is going to be the Krog district. So Alex, what do the STR regulations look like
Yeah, so let me share my screen real quick and I'll kind of show because there's unlike I won't name any names, but unlike some other cities and places that we've looked at before, uh, Atlanta seems to, I mean, they've really got their stuff organized. I'll say that. So let me back this up. So this just came from, hang on, where are we at? All right. Literally
Lost.
just literally here, like here it is, right? Atlanta, Georgia, STR regulations. That simple, right? Okay. Short-term rental. So then, all right, let's go down. They've got a very organized thing here. And this really stood out to me right here. If you own, and read this carefully, if you own or rent, long-term tenant, two properties and both properties are within the city of Atlanta and you wish to rent one or both, you must register one as a primary residence. So, and I saw somewhere else before I shared my screen, they do limit you to two properties. So, whoops, or not whoops, but you might not if so this that that's like sometimes we talk to investors, they're like, oh yeah, I own four properties in whatever city, I want all of them to be short-term rentals. Well, maybe you can, maybe you can't, depends
Yeah.
on the city. So there's also some other loopholes, like totally legal loopholes. Sometimes cities have like a bed and breakfast license
Yeah.
versus, so it's like, is it technically a short-term rental? Well, yes, but it's not classified according to their, laws. Maybe like in Washington D.C., they've got a bed and breakfast license. There's also a short-term rental license. So there's also a vacation rental license. All three are worded slightly differently, but all basically they have certain, restrictions to each of them. But sometimes that bed and breakfast license could be the loophole that, sends the boat down the gravy river. So
And like I'm looking here too while you're doing that. It looks like there is a way to yes with arbitrage. It looks like there is a way to yes with proper licenses. So and each city has its. I'm pulling up on Google too. Each city has a spectrum from like nothing. You don't need to do anything. You can just go and send it all the way to like places like New York City proper, where it's like really hard to get in and do it. And obviously, the bigger the metropolitan, the more regulations they have for that.
and that's, yeah, and like a major, metropolitan city like Atlanta, you can expect, hey, everything's going to be, they're going to have some pretty good, not necessarily like massive restrictions, but there will be rules. And even like non-metropolitan areas, like we found in other counties in other states where, like, whoa, I was not expecting that county, kind of out in the country in Virginia, to have as strict of regulations, but nope, they do. So you might be surprised. Um, so all of what we're doing right now, the first time I've ever been on this website in my life was 2 minutes ago. So it's a very, very, I mean, you can look up your property or any property you're thinking you're looking at online. Um, you know, so this particular website is very good, application. So like you would expect, I mean, read through every single one of these of the FAQs. I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something about,
And for websites that for places that don't have websites like this, like almost all of our friction in these matters have been solved by like Alex picking up and calling the
that's
city,
okay. That's, yeah,
the local township.
that's what I was going to say. Yeah. So, like all of these things, you might find the answers you're looking for on here, and that's great. Okay. Then you've got your answer. Even if you do find your answers, it is still good to just pick up the phone and call the office. I want to contact, I want to, there's got to be somewhere on here, there's a phone number where you can call. Why am I blurry again? This camera.
All up on you.
So, we did that a couple days ago. I didn't already said that. A couple days ago, man, this thing is
So blurry. My eyes are blurry. No, it's just the
so anyway, just call the office. It might be called a different thing depending on the city. Could be the community development office. It could be in the zoning department, tax and revenue department. But get in contact with the city and and you don't need to give any specific address. You're not trying to be deceitful. But it's one of these things, like, you don't need to give more information. They're trying to help you, right? But you also, sometimes local governments, when you ask some of these questions using these keywords like Airbnb, can sometimes can spook people a little bit. Like it shouldn't, because that they work for the city, right? They're just, but they're not. Sometimes they're very, very helpful. Other times not as helpful. So
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes
the other one.
maybe the other one.
So
Okay,
yeah,
yeah. So with that, we go we yeah, I don't know, it's just a focus thing, whatever. Um, basically, we go and we verify, okay, cool. So to recap, we start off, we find the area that we wanna go to. We found that area. Oh, damn! Little
and
camera switch.
oh, look, I got two cameras.
I gotta get that going. Alright, so we knew Atlanta. Okay. We
Yeah.
go in and we research we research and take some time to do this, call some people, get some people on the line. But for the sake of this exercise, we found 5 spots that were like, "Oh, this is a good be a good place to for markets for Airbnb." We then go in there and we find, can we do, Airbnb in there? Is Airbnb allowed there? Okay, we have that. Now we know Airbnb is allowed in this submarket, and then we find the high ground. Where are we gonna go? Where do we wanna go to be at? And now we have that, and we does it passes the Airbnb sniff test. It has enough Airbnbs. It doesn't look like it's so blown out, like, by professional, hosts that we can't get edge in our own. And then we go on a website like Hotpads, which we discuss, which we'll go over later. But you go on a website like Hotpads and you start finding properties as close to the area you wanna go based on your budget, and we try and find the best mix of, space to location and the ability to add, in a location like this, something unique. I'm looking for some factor, Alex, like that we can do to make this place unique and stand out, because it's in an area where it is a more popular area. So you need to find ways to stand out. But the
Mhm.
whole purpose of this was to, how do we pick markets, specific markets? Atlanta is in the market. Atlanta is a massive collection of markets. So how do we pick our little submarkets in there? That's what we do. And the cheat codes are like hotels, restaurants, and bars have done the heavy lifting already. But use Airbnb to see where the Airbnbs are at too, and what kind of stuff they're pushing. Anything else I'm missing on? I think that was a pretty good for like a down and dirty on a submarket pick. But you do
Yeah.
that, you got like 4 more times and you get 5, and then you weigh
Right.
the cons of each.
Yeah. So, definitely. So zoom in, like, do a little tourism research. Okay. Once you figured out what are the, like look on Airbnb, everything we just did, and then figure out, okay, before you start calling landlords and calling people and investing more time, look into the regulations, see if it's something, and call the city, call the county, and figure out, okay, is this possible? Can I do this? Right in that city, get a good idea of what's going on with the regulations, and then yeah, we'll do another video, for, kind of hot pads.
Cool.
So I think that's about it. Yeah.
Right on. See you later.
So, all right.
Nice.